2014 was another special year in the history of Dallas Baptist baseball. Playing in their inaugural season in the Missouri Valley Conference, DBU won the league's tournament and earned the number 2 seed at the Fort Worth Regional, making it the third time in the last 4 years in which the Patriots advanced to the postseason. As DBU head coach Dan Hefner enters his 8th season at the helm, he relishes the success of what his team has accomplished last year and looks to carry that momentum into 2015.
Yeah, it was really a great accomplishment by last year's squad. A lot of special things about it. I mean, first year in the Missouri Valley Conference, it's a great league. It's one that we were really excited to be a part of. We played the full Missouri Valley Conference schedule in 2012, so we saw how strong it was. I've been a part of the league for a long time when I was at Northern Iowa and at Creighton. So I really knew the league well and knew how strong it was. It's not one, I think, name recognition that gets the credit that it deserves because there's not football. But from a baseball standpoint, I think last year it finished 5th or 6th in the nation as far as conferences go. So it's a really, really strong baseball conference. Last year, two players drafted in the first round out of the league, a lot of guys in the top 10 rounds, numerous guys drafted. It's a pretty strong league from top to bottom. We finished 2nd in the regular season, and then to win the conference tournament was really a highlight for our guys, and that's something we talk about a lot is our goal is to be a championship team, and there's a number of championships that you have the opportunity to win through the year, and one of them is the conference tournament. So that is for sure a goal of ours and something that we do talk about. We want to be the team that's on top at the end of a tournament, at the end of a season. I think another thing that made it really special for last year's team is I think a lot of people felt like last year was going to be a rebuilding year. We didn't have a great year in 2013. We lost a lot of really key guys, and last year was kind of a no-name team. We didn't have any stars coming back, no All-Americans coming back. So it was really a team effort, and that's what it was going to take for us to be successful, and that was something we talked about all year long, and I thought the guys really did a tremendous job of that, of being a team, of finding out what their role was, accepting that role, and executing that role.
As DBU enters their 2nd season in the Valley, they must do so without the likes of 2 key pieces of their weekend rotation in Cy Snead and Paul Velker. Snead was a 3rd-round selection of the Milwaukee Brewers last June, following a year in which he went 8-3 with a 3.55 earned run average, while Velker was taken in the 10th round by the Detroit Tigers, after leading the staff with 9 wins. Not only must the Patriots try and replace their efforts on the mound, but also the leadership each provided on and off the field.
We're looking at, we have to replace our number 1 and number 2 starter. So there's almost 200 innings there and a lot of wins that you have to replace. But like you said, it's way more than what they did on the field too. It was what those guys did off the field and how they raised the level of everybody else on the team. When you think of Cy Snead, Cy is a true professional. He's a tremendous worker. Just the model that he was for the rest of the pitching staff to show up every single day, to do the little things and to know himself well too. I think that's something Cy did a great job of, is learning who he was, how he needs to prepare his body, how he needs to pitch, the way that he would look at the opposing team and scout them and look at video and come up with a personal scouting report for himself. He was just a professional in every way. And that just raises a level for everybody else on your staff. When they see your leader doing that, then everybody else wants to do the same thing. Paul Velker, Paul was very similar as far as the way that he works and the way he would prepare himself. But I think the biggest thing for Paul that we'll always remember about Paul and the impact he made on this team was just his competitiveness. He loved to compete. When he was on the mound, he was competing, but when he wasn't on the mound too, just the way that he was in the dugout, the way he would talk to his teammates, the intensity that he brought to everything he did in practice, the weight room, when he pitched, warm-ups, even just being a teammate in the dugout. We were really fortunate to have those 2 guys in our program. They're gone now, but at the same time, I think just the type of leaders they were, and I think a sign of leadership is, that you're gone, but, there's still a part of you there too. And I think, Cy's professionalism, his work ethic, Paul's competitiveness, I think they pass that on to a lot of the guys that are on the staff this year.
Looking to help fill the void left by Snead and Velker are arms like Joseph Shaw's. The 6'5", 242-pound flame-throwing righty made the transition late in the season from the back end of the bullpen to become a starter in their midweek rotation and was the winning pitcher in the Missouri Valley Conference Championship game. DBU also brings back junior Corey Taylor, who led last year's staff with 90 strikeouts and ranked number 25 in the nation in strikeouts per 9 innings. With Shaw and Taylor back, along with several other experienced arms, Dan Hefner expects the starting rotation to have a familiar feel in 2015.
Right now, through our preseason workouts, it looks like Joseph Shaw, Drew Smith, Corey Taylor, and Jay Calhoun will be our starting rotation to start the season out. All four guys, especially the first three, the juniors, Shaw, Smith, and Taylor, they have tremendous stuff. I mean, they've got, velocity, their breaking ball, their stuff is really, really good. All three of them as well have a lot of experience too. So they've been in big games. You think of Joseph Shaw pitching in the conference tournament championship game. He's had a number of other big starts and big outings out of the bullpen as well. Drew Smith, Corey Taylor, he's got a bunch of starts under his belt in his 2 years for us. So I think all those guys, the biggest thing is the stuff that they have, the velocity of the breaking pitches, but they also have good experience too. And then the other thing they have is they've had great models to see in this program over the last 2 years, just how to handle being in the starting rotation, the work ethic it takes, the preparation that it takes. And then Jay Calhoun's a guy who's really come on strong for his senior year. Started his career here at DBU, did a really good job as a freshman, had a lot of starts for us, started a game in the regional tournament as a freshman. So he's another guy who you feel really good with him on the mound. He's a true leader on this team this year, just the way he goes about things, his work ethic, and his maturity too. He's got a great perspective and is very mature about the way he goes about his business and the outlook that he has on life too. So I think that's something that really gives you a lot of confidence on the mound when you have somebody out there that has put in the work, he's got experience, he's been on the mound in big games before, and deserves to have success.
Perhaps the greatest strength of DBU's pitching staff lies in the team's closer, Brandon Coach. The junior right-hander who throws a devastating slider enters this year as a preseason All-American after establishing several school records last year, including a spectacular 0.64 ERA. And it's the opportunity that Coach has in the late innings with the game on the line that he lives for.
I mean, I'm just really lucky to be the guy that comes in when we're winning a lot. But I love to compete. I love to be in the big situations. This is how I've always been, and I love getting out there when the game's on the line and getting the W for my team.
With a host of arms back from last year, the Patriots pitching staff looks to build off a record season in 2014 that saw them set new records in the program's history, including 506 strikeouts as a staff and a mere .248 batting average against. Leading DBU's success on the mound is the direction of the team's pitching coach, Wes Johnson, who Dan Hefner recognizes as one of the best in the game.
Yeah, Wes does a great job. Anybody who knows Wes, and you can just watch him and you see that he's a high energy guy. He's a guy who gives energy, he gives confidence. He brings it every single day. And I think that's what he's done for our pitching staff is they're a very confident group. And I think their confidence comes from their work ethic, and that starts with Coach Johnson. He's got a great work ethic. He shows up every day and brings energy. There's no days off for him, and therefore there's no days off for our pitching staff either. So I think that gives them a lot of confidence when they're on the mound to know that they've put in the work, they've put in the time, and they do a lot of things different than what people normally do to prepare pitchers. So and then we see the results of that too with the type of stuff that our guys have, the velocity they have, the breaking balls that they have. Those things don't happen by accident. It's all a result of Coach Johnson's leadership, his work ethic, and his energy.
Behind DBU's solid pitching core lies a talented veteran infield, beginning with Patriot catcher Daniel Salters. The 6'3", 227-pound junior was a 22nd-round draft pick of the Washington Nationals in last year's Major League Draft, but made the decision to return to Dallas Baptist to continue his development and help the Patriots make a return trip to the postseason.
Well, honestly, I mean, awesome opportunity. I really thank the Lord for that. And that honestly went into a huge part of it. I prayed a ton about it with the Lord. I talked to him about it, and I just didn't feel at peace about leaving. I tried not to let money or anything like that affect my decision. I wanted to come back and be with these guys another year. We're going to have a great team this year. It's super exciting to see the guys we have. And so I just, honestly, I didn't want to miss out on that. And, I'm really thankful, Lord, that he gave me that opportunity, but I wanted to come back another year.
Joining Salters along the Patriot infield is a group of seasoned veterans, starting at first base with the return of redshirt senior Shane Lynch. After missing last season to an injury, Lynch looks to bounce back to his form in 2013 when he became the team's everyday first baseman and hit .275 with 6 home runs. At second base, Drew Turbin is back. In his first year as a Patriot, Turbin had a flair for the dramatic, hitting a walk-off home run in the Missouri Valley Tournament against Missouri State in DBU's first game, and then a bases-clearing triple to break a 1-1 tie in the championship game of the tournament. At shortstop, Camden Duzenak returns after earning freshman All-American honors last year and was also named the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament's most outstanding player. Trevin Saunier is also back after making 43 starts at shortstop and led the team in stolen bases. Rounding out the infield is senior Nash Knight, who was named to the Missouri Valley Conference All-Defensive Team at third base last year. Knight was called on in 2014 to make the transition from shortstop to third, and it's a move that has led him to finding a home on the hot corner.
Coach Chief told me I was going to do it, so I said, that's fine, whatever's best for the team. But I knew that making that transition would be a little different, but I had done it before. So I think just repetitions, making sure that I'm taking enough ground balls there, and just kind of learning more about the position. So picking people's brains, asking Coach Fitz what I need to do at certain times, or just making sure I know as much as I can and not being scared to ask questions. So I think I've learned a lot, and I think that that's kind of a position now that I'm used to being at and that I enjoy playing.
In the outfield, the Patriots' Justin Wall and David Martinelli both return and enter 2015 as preseason selections on the All-Missouri Valley Conference team. Wall's 58 hits were third most on the club last year to go along with a .264 average and 38 RBIs, while Martinelli earned freshman All-American honors in his first year at DBU after hitting .274 and finishing tied for second on the team with 6 home runs. Return of 7 everyday starters from last year's lineup, Dan Hefner believes this year's Patriots offense has the potential to be an imposing batting order from top to bottom.
We've had a lot of really good lineups here at DBU, and this one really reminds us of some of the best ones that we've had as far as there's a lot of power in the lineup, but one thing we've tried to do as a program is to be more versatile as an offense too, and not just have to rely on the power, because that you can't have that every single game. Some of the games where the wind's blowing in or a bigger park, those type of things, and that's something we're really excited about. This team is we do have a lot of power. Our new strength coach Adam Ross has done a tremendous job. I mean, we're an extremely physical team. You'll just be able to see that when you look at the guys out there on the field. They do have power, but they're very fast too. I think this is one of the faster groups that we've had. We've worked a lot on base running and stealing bases, and we've got some guys who speed doesn't always translate into stolen bases. You have to have some instincts there and some fearlessness to be able to steal bases, and we have some guys that can do that. I think we also have guys who have bat control, and I really feel like this is an offense that's a complete offense. It's not a one-dimensional offense. I think we've got a variety of ways that we can score runs.
Joining DBU's wealth of returning talent from last year's club that advanced to the NCAA Regional Tournament is a host of newcomers ready to make their mark, and Dan Hefner feels this group has several key pieces that can make an immediate impact in 2015.
Yeah, Dan Fitzgerald leads up our recruiting efforts, and he does a great job. I think best thing he does is he's a great fit for us here at DBU, and then he understands what a player is who's a great fit here. Just as far as the type of talent that player needs to have, the type of character, work ethic, also faith background, and those are the type of guys he's brought into this program, and it takes that type of fit to be able to step in right away and be able to play. And we'll see a number of guys that will come in, and be able to play right from the get-go. Daniel Sweet will be in the starting lineup for us right from the beginning. He's a guy who's had a lot of success, a junior college player. We're going to see him play quite a bit this year. Matt Deuce, a freshman catcher, he'll be backing up Daniel Salters, but he's a guy that you just look at, has a really bright future for us, but not just in the future. I think he's going to make a good impact this year for us. Number of guys on the pitching staff, guys that'll step in right away. Chance Adams, a junior college player from Yavapai in Arizona, same school as Drew Turbin. He had a great fall for us, and he's a guy that we expect to really contribute out of the bullpen. And then we have a number of freshman arms that are very talented, and we have a lot of experience on this year's pitching staff and some juniors and seniors that are going to log a lot of innings for us, but we've got some freshmen that are going to get some time too. And honestly, this freshman group reminds me a lot of the guys who are juniors now on our pitching staff. They've got a lot of ability. They're going to get experience on the mound this year, and we have high expectations for them in the future.
With expectations running high for a team that won the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament last year, Dallas Baptist enters 2015 with a number of preseason accolades and has been tabbed the favorite to win the league title. With a lot of attention surrounding this year's club, Dan Hefner's message to the team is focused on the day-to-day process of building a championship program.
You know, those things are all great to have the, preseason be ranked #1, and there's been some other press about our team, individual guys getting accolades, those things, and honestly, that's what you want. That's what we want as a program. We have very high expectations for ourselves, so it really should come as no surprise when other people have those expectations on us too. But really the focus needs to stay on what we do on the field. And that's something that we preach a lot to our guys, is that you can only control what you have control over, and you can't worry about anything else. So really we shouldn't even be looking at, what preseason polls say and what, people are saying on the internet and rankings and preseason all-conference, all-Americans, those type of things. It really just matters the work that we're putting in on a daily basis and, preparing ourselves for next Friday night. It's really, people say it all the time, but you just have to focus on the process, and that's what we truly try to do as a program. We've done it for years. Our goal is just to play the game and not the opponent, and that continues to be our focus this year as well. And honestly, I think a lot of it goes back to our faith emphasis too, is that there's high expectations on our program, and people put those things on us, but really it couldn't be any higher than what our calling is as believers, and that's whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, is working for the Lord. So really that's our goal as a program, is everything we do to do it the very best that we can, and we're doing it for the Lord and not for polls or for other people or for fans or those type of things. So I think that's what the emphasis of our program has always been, and what we want it to continue to be this year.
The Patriots' journey begins right here at Horner Ballpark on Friday, February 13th, when Dallas Baptist opens the season at home in a 3-game series versus Monmouth University. With a schedule consisting of teams such as Baylor, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, TCU, and Texas A&M, along with the Missouri Valley slate of games, the Patriots have their eyes set on a trip to the NCAA postseason for the 4th time in the last 5 years. As the Patriots set out on their quest, we look forward to seeing you right here at the ballpark in 2015.